The station was old and quiet. It floated alone near a dead planet, far from trade routes and laws. Most people forgot it even existed. The human engineer lived there by choice. His name did not matter anymore. He fixed broken machines for scraps, power cells, and silence. He liked silence. Silence never betrayed anyone. The lights flickered as he worked on a damaged power relay. His hands moved slow and careful. Human hands were good at fixing things that others gave up on. Then the sound came. A soft noise. Not metal, not an alarm, a whisper. "Sir, can you help me?" He froze. No ships were scheduled. No life signs showed on his scanner. Slowly, he turned. At the entrance stood a small alien girl. She was thin and shaking. Her skin was pale blue, cracked in places from cold and fear. Her eyes were too big for her face. She looked like she had not eaten in days. She held something in both hands. A small toy. It was broken. Metal parts hung loose. The light inside it flickered weakly. Old technology. Very old. She took one step forward, then stopped. Her voice trembled. "Please." "Sir," she whispered again, "can you fix my toy?" She looked down at it, then back at him. "It was the last gift my mother gave me." The words hit him harder than any weapon. He had heard many lies in his life. This was not one of them. "Where did you come from?" he asked calmly. She did not answer. Instead, she hugged the toy to her chest. "They are looking for me," she said. "If they see the light, they will know." His scanner suddenly screamed. Red warnings filled the screen. Unknown. Energy source detected. Ancient signal pattern active. The toy. He stepped closer and knelt in front of her. Slow movements. No sudden actions. "May I see it?" he asked. She hesitated, then slowly held it out. The moment his fingers touched the toy, the station lights dimmed. The air vibrated softly, like a deep breath. His tools reacted. Old human tech, unused for centuries, powered up by itself. This was no toy. This was forbidden technology. He knew the stories. Every human engineer did. Long ago, a species existed that could heal planets. They could rebuild worlds after war. The galaxy feared them. So the galaxy erased them. He looked at the girl again. "You are one of them," he said quietly. Her eyes filled with tears. "My mother said humans were kind," she whispered. "She said humans fix broken things." He swallowed. "Sit," he said gently. She obeyed, sitting on a metal crate. Her legs barely reached the floor. He worked slowly. No advanced tools. No forced commands. Just patience. The toy responded. Not to power, not to skill, but to care. The light grew stronger. Warm, soft. The girl smiled for the first time. Then the station shook. A distant hum echoed through space. Long-range scanners lit up. Multiple warp signatures detected. Someone had noticed. The signal. Bounty networks awakened. Old hunters stirred. The galaxy was listening. The engineer finished tightening the last piece and handed the toy back. "It works," he said. She held it like treasure. "Thank you," she whispered. He stood and looked at the stars outside the broken window. Ships were coming. Many ships. He turned back to the small alien girl. "Stay close," he said. She nodded. Outside, in the dark of space, the first hunter ship dropped out of warp. And the galaxy took its first step toward remembering what it tried to forget. The girl slept curled beside a warm power conduit. The fixed toy rested in her arms, glowing softly like a small heart. The station felt different now. Alive, alert. The human engineer did not sleep. He watched the sensors and listened to the quiet hum of old machines. Outside, space looked calm. But he knew better. Hunters never rushed. They waited. He checked the long-range scan again. 3 ships had dropped from warp hours ago. They stayed far, just close enough to watch. They were patient. That made them dangerous. He looked at the girl. She looked too small for the trouble she carried, too light for the weight of the galaxy. He walked closer and knelt beside her. "What is your name?" he asked softly. Her eyes opened slowly. She did not flinch. She trusted him. "My name is Lyra," she said. Her voice was weak but steady. "My mother said names help us remember who we are." He nodded. "I will remember it," he said. She held the toy tighter. "They will not stop," she whispered. "They never do." "Who are they?" he asked. She sat up slowly, thinking. "They call themselves protectors," she said. "But they protect fear." She looked down. "They said my people were dangerous because we could heal." "Heal what?" he asked. "Everything," she replied. "Bodies, minds, worlds." Her voice shook. "My mother healed a planet once, after the war. The oceans were dead. The sky was broken." She closed her eyes. "They killed her for it." The word stayed heavy in the air. The engineer clenched his hands. He had fixed machines his whole life. He had never fixed injustice. "How did you survive?" he asked. "The toy hid me," Lyra said. "It listens to me." She looked at it. "It listens to feelings." That explained the readings. Emotion reactive technology. Something the galaxy never learned to control. A warning flashed. Unknown transmission detected. The screen showed a message in cold, official symbols. "Surrender the child. The station is under observation. Resistance will be punished." The engineer deleted the message. "They want me to leave," Lyra said quietly. "They want you to disappear," he replied. She nodded. "My mother said humans would understand," she said. "She said humans were once hunted too." He looked at her with surprise. "She knew about us?" "Yes," Lyra said. "She watched Earth from far away. She said humans survived because they stood together." The engineer felt something stir inside him, something old, something stubborn. He walked to the control panel and opened a hidden channel. Human distress protocol, unused, ignored by most. He sent a simple message, "One child. Forbiddance tech. Hunters inbound. No plea, no threat, just truth." Minutes passed, then hours. Outside, one hunter ship moved closer. Lyra stood beside him. "Will they come?" she asked. "I do not know," he answered honestly. "But humans are slow to forget." The hunter ship opened a channel. "This is a restricted matter," a cold voice said. "Hand over the asset and walk away." "She is not an asset," the engineer replied. "She is a child." Silence followed, then laughter. "Human," the voice said. "The galaxy does not protect children. It protects order." The channel closed, weapons powered up. Lyra stepped forward. "I can make them go away," she said softly. "No," he said quickly, "not like that." "It will hurt," she admitted. "But it will work." He knelt in front of her. "You will not pay for the galaxy's fear," he said. "Not today." The toy glowed brighter, reacting to his words. Suddenly, a new signal appeared. Human warp signatures. 1, then 3, then many. The engineer smiled for the first time in years. "They hurt us," he said. Lyra looked at the screen, eyes wide. "Humans?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "And they do not like bullies." Outside, human ships dropped from warp and placed themselves between the station and the hunters. The galaxy watched. And for the first time in a long time, fear was no longer alone. The hunter ships did not fire. They hesitated across the dark field of space. Human ships formed a quiet wall. Old ships. New ships. Different designs, same purpose. They did not threaten. They simply stayed. Inside the station, the human engineer watched the sensors. His heart beat slow and heavy. Lyra stood beside him, holding the toy. Its light pulsed gently, like it was breathing. "They are afraid," she said softly. Yes, he replied. They are learning. A new channel opened. Human code. Secure. This is Captain Reyes, a voice said. Station engineer, confirm the child is with you. She is, the engineer answered, and she is scared. A pause followed. Understood, Reyes said. We are here. The hunter fleet shifted. Their leader opened a broadcast channel. Loud and public. Humans, the cold voice said. You are interfering in classified galactic enforcement. Captain Reyes replied calmly. You are hunting a child. She is a weapon, the hunter said. She is a person. Reyes answered. The silence that followed was tense and sharp. Then the hunters moved. Not forward. Around. They split into fast attack units, trying to slip past the human ships. The engineer felt the station shake as warning alarms sounded. They are trying to flank, he said. Human ships reacted instantly. They did not chase. They predicted. Small human craft moved like a net, blocking paths, forcing hunters back. Lyra watched the battle in silence. No joy, no fear, only sadness. They always do this, she whispered. They call it order. One hunter ship broke through and charged toward the station, weapons armed. The engineer grabbed Lyra and pulled her behind a bulkhead. The station's shields were weak. Too weak. The toy reacted. Its light surged, filling the corridor with warmth. Lyra, stop. He sighed. I am not hurting anyone, she replied. I am protecting. The toy released a wave of soft energy. Not a weapon. A pulse. The hunter ship froze mid-attack. Its weapons powered down. Engines stalled. Across space, systems failed. Not destroyed. Paused. Human sensors lit up in shock. What was that? Captain Reyes asked. Non-hostile suppression field, the engineer replied, staring. She disabled them without harm. Lyra's knees buckled. He caught her before she fell. It takes too much, she said weakly. I cannot do it many times. He held her steady. You will not, he said firmly. Across the field, the hunter leader panicked. This violates every treaty. The voice shouted. Reyes responded calmly. You hunted a race to extinction, he said. You do not get to speak of treaties. The channel went quiet. Then something unexpected happened. A third voice entered, older, controlled. This is Observer Talkith of the Neutral Worlds, the voice said. I am recording this encounter. The galaxy had witnesses now, Talkith continued. The child's technology shows restorative energy, not destructive force. Previous council reports labeled it a weapon. Those reports appear false. Lyra looked up, surprised. They lied, she whispered. Yes, the engineer said. And lies do not survive light. More ships arrived, neutral fleets, trade vessels, observers. Everyone wanted to see the truth. The hunter leader tried to leave. Human ships blocked the exit. Not yet, Reyes said. You will answer questions. The engineer carried Lyra to a seat. She looked exhausted but peaceful. I am sorry, she said. I did not want trouble. He smiled gently. You brought honesty, he said. Trouble followed on its own. The toy dimmed, returning to a soft glow. Observers watched closely. Data spread across the galaxy. The story changed, from dangerous child to hunted. Survivor. From forbidden's weapon to healing legacy. Outside, human ships held their line, not with anger, with patience. The engineer looked at Lyra and spoke quietly. They cannot erase you now, he said. Too many eyes are open. She smiled faintly. My mother said kindness is louder than fear, she whispered. In the dark of space, the hunters realized something too late. They were no longer chasing prey. They were standing trial. The galaxy reacted slowly at first. Truth always moves slower than fear. Data from the battle spread across systems, stations, and worlds. Recordings showed the child, showed the toy. Showed hunters attacking first. Showed humans standing in the way. The story changed direction. Inside the station, Lyra slept again. Her breathing was shallow but calm. The toy rested on her chest, glowing faintly. The human engineer sat beside her, watching every small movement. He had repaired engines under fire, power cores near meltdown. None of that felt as fragile as this moment. A secure channel opened. "Engineer," Captain Reyes said. "Earth Command wants to speak." The screen shifted. Faces appeared. Human leaders, scientists, military officers. No shouting. No anger. Only focus. "We have reviewed the data," one of them said. "The child's technology is not a weapon." "It never was," the engineer replied. Another voice spoke. "The Galactic Council is demanding custody. They claim this is a containment issue." The engineer leaned forward. "She is not a disease," he said. "She is a survivor." Silence followed. Then a woman in a dark uniform spoke. "Earth will not surrender a child to execution," she said. "If the Council wants her, they go through us." The message was clear. Human ships repositioned, not to attack, to protect. Across space, Council fleets gathered. Not all agreed. Some hesitated. Some remembered old rumors about the healing race. Observers broadcast debates. Questions were asked publicly for the first time. Why were healers erased? Who labeled them weapons? Who benefited? Lyra woke during the noise. She looked at the engineer. "They are arguing," she said quietly. "Yes," he replied. "That means fear is losing." She sat up slowly. "I do not want humans to be hurt because of me." He met her eyes. "You did not choose this," he said. "But we are choosing you." She looked confused. "My mother said no one chooses us," she whispered. "That is why we disappear." "Not this time," he answered. A sudden alarm rang. Council fleet entering formation. Large ships, old symbols, heavy weapons. Captain Reyes' voice cut in. "They are forcing a decision." Outside the window, space filled with massive shapes. Council warships blocked escape routes. A council representative opened a broadcast. "Humans," the voice said. "Hand over the anomaly. This matter ends now." The engineer stood. "She has a name," he said, "and she is under our protection. This is not your jurisdiction." The council replied. Reyes answered calmly. "It became our jurisdiction when you hunted a child." The council ships powered weapons. Human fleets did not fire. They held position. Still. Silent. Inside the station, Lyra felt the toy react. It pulsed faster. She gasped. "It is calling," she said. "It wants to heal something." "What?" the engineer asked. "The damage," she replied. "The scars they left." Outside, sensors spiked. Energy waves flowed outward. Not violent. Not sharp. Warm. Dead. Satellites reactivated. Broken systems stabilized. Radiation clouds faded. Entire regions of space calmed. The council ships faltered. Power readings normalized. Weapon locks dropped. The galaxy watched in shock. "She is healing the battlefield," a human scientist whispered. The council voice returned, strained. "Stop this immediately." Lyra stood, shaking. "I am tired of hiding," she said softly. "My people fixed what others broke. We did not rule. We helped." The toy brightened, then slowly dimmed. Lyra collapsed. The engineer caught her. "She needs rest," he said sharply. Observers spoke at once. Council lies unraveled live across the galaxy. Records surfaced. Old orders. Secret purges. The truth stood exposed. Human fleets remained still. They did not celebrate. They watched, because this was bigger than victory. This was history changing direction. The engineer held Lyra as medics arrived. She looked up. Weakly. "Did I do wrong?" she asked. He smiled softly. "No," he said. "You reminded them what good looks like." Outside, council ships began to withdraw. Not defeated. Disgraced. And across the galaxy, a new idea took root. That power did not come from fear. It came from protecting the smallest voice when it mattered most. The council fleets did not return. That silence spoke louder than any victory signal. Across the galaxy, systems replayed the recordings again and again. Not the battle, not the standoff, the moment the child healed the battlefield. Inside the human medical bay, Lyra slept beneath soft white lights. Monitors showed her life signs, weak but steady. The toy rested nearby, quiet now, as if exhausted. The human engineer stood behind the glass wall, arms crossed. He had not moved in hours. A human doctor approached him. She gave more than she should have, the doctor said. Her people were never meant to use this power alone. She offered to die, the engineer replied quietly. For strangers, the doctor nodded. That is why the galaxy fears her kind. A secure channel opened. Captain Reyes appeared again, but this time his face was different. Not tense, concerned. The council has activated emergency protocols, Reyes said. They are reclassifying her technology as an existential risk. The engineer's jaw tightened. They still want her gone. Yes, Reyes said, but not quietly. Across space, council agents began spreading a new story, that the child was unstable, that her power could destroy worlds if left unchecked. Fear tried to rewrite truth. Human scientists worked fast. They studied the toy carefully, respectfully. One discovery changed everything. The toy was incomplete. It was never meant to be used by a child alone. It was part of a network, a system designed to work with others, helpers, protectors. Human engineers saw the solution. Not control. Partnership. Inside the bay, Lyra stirred. The engineer rushed to her side. You are safe, he said quickly. She opened her eyes. I felt cold, she whispered, like something was pulling me. Yes, he replied, but we stopped it. She looked at the toy. It wants to finish, she said. But I cannot. He took a deep breath. You do not have to, he said. We will help. She frowned, confused. Why? She asked. My people trusted no one. Because humans are good at fixing broken systems, he answered, not just machines. Human engineers began modifying the toy. Not to weaken it, to share the burden. They built a support frame, energy stabilizers, safety limits. The toy responded, not resisting. Accepting. Observers from neutral worlds watched in silence. This was something new, a species choosing restraint over dominance. The council noticed. Their threats grew sharper. Final warning messages flooded networks. Surrender the child. Deactivate the device. Earth responded with one message. No. Human fleets moved not to attack, but to shield medical stations, research zones, and neutral observers. The galaxy held its breath. Inside the bay, Lyra stood with help. She walked slowly toward the modified toy. It no longer pulsed wildly. It waited. Will it hurt? She asked. No, the engineer said. This time you will not be alone. She placed her hand on it. Light spread gently, not draining. Sharing. Across nearby systems, damaged habitat stabilized. Old wounds faded. Energy balanced. Lyra smiled. She did not fall. Human scientists stared in disbelief. She is stable, one whispered. The engineer exhaled slowly. She is safe. Across the galaxy, the narrative collapsed. The council's fear lost ground, because proof replaced panic. Healing without sacrifice. Power without death. The council withdrew its final ultimatum. Not out of mercy, out of exposure. Lyra looked at the engineer. My mother dreamed of this, she said softly. A day when we would not vanish. He knelt in front of her. You will not, he promised. Not while we remember. The toy dimmed to a peaceful glow. For the first time since her people were hunted, Their legacy was no longer carried by one small child. It was shared, and the galaxy realized something it could not undo. Humanity had chosen kindness and turned it into strength. The galaxy did not sleep that cycle. Too many systems were awake, watching, listening, arguing. What began as a hunt had become a turning point. Across public channels, council members denied everything. Across private channels, panic spread. Because the truth was clear now, the child did not need to be controlled. The power did not need to be destroyed. The lie was exposed. Inside the human research station, Lyra stood near a wide window. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the glass. For the first time, she was not afraid of being seen. Human guards stood nearby, relaxed but alert. Not prison guards. Protectors. The engineer joined her. They are gathering again, he said. Hunters? She asked softly. No, he replied. Leaders. Council fleets regrouped near a neutral system. This time, they came with diplomats, observers, and witnesses. They could no longer act in shadows. A formal galactic assembly was called Open Broadcast. No edits, no silence. Lyra watched the massive chamber appear on screen. Hundreds of species. Thousands of eyes. The council speaker began. We acknowledge recent events, the voice said carefully. But the existence of such power threatens galactic stability. Murmurs filled the chamber. Lyra stepped forward. May I speak? She asked. Silence fell. No one had expected that. The engineer nodded. You should, he said. Her image appeared on every screen. She looked small in the vast chamber, but she stood straight. My people were called dangerous, she said softly, because we healed after wars you started. The words landed hard. We did not rule, she continued. We repaired. We helped planets live again. Data streams opened. Old records. Hidden orders. Confirmed purges. The galaxy watched its past unravel. Council members shifted uncomfortably. You hunted us, Lyra said, not because we were strong, but because you were afraid you could not control kindness. A council voice interrupted. This is emotional manipulation, it said. Lyra shook her head. This is memory, she replied, and memory does not obey fear. Human scientists released their findings, the modified system. Shared energy flow. No sacrifice required. Neutral worlds confirmed results. Healing was safe, stable, repeatable. The council's last defense collapsed. A vote was called. Not for punishment, for recognition. The result shocked the galaxy. The healing race was cleared of all charges. Their extermination was declared a crime. The council speaker's voice trembled. The child, Lyra, is granted protected status. Under human guardianship. Human fleets remained still. They did not cheer. They waited. Because protection meant responsibility. Lyra exhaled slowly. It is over? She asked. It is beginning, the engineer replied. Outside the station, ships from many worlds arrived. Not with weapons, with supplies. With requests, with hope. Planets long broken asked for help. Not control. Healing. Lyra looked overwhelmed. I cannot do all this, she whispered. You will not, the engineer said. We will. Human engineers, doctors, and scientists formed. Teams, volunteers trained. Systems expanded. The power was no longer a burden on one child. It became a shared promise. The council dissolved, quietly weeks later. Too much trust had been lost. In its place, a new alliance formed. Not built on fear, built on care. One evening, Lyra stood again by the window. Do you think the galaxy will change? She asked. Yes, the engineer said. Slowly, but forever. She smiled. My mother used to say the smallest hands fix the deepest cracks. He smiled back. She was right. Far across space, damaged worlds began to glow with life again. And for the first time in galactic history, Healing was not hidden. It was protected, not because it was powerful, but because it was kind. The galaxy learned to breathe again, not all at once. Not easily. Change never came without pain, but it came this time with memory, with witnesses. With choice. Months passed. Worlds that had been silent for centuries began to speak again. Oceans cleared. Skies healed. Cities rebuilt where ruins once slept. And at the center of it all was not a throne, not a weapon. It was a child. Lyra no longer hid. She walked openly through human stations, through neutral halls, through worlds that once feared her kind. She was still small, still quiet, but she was never alone. The human engineer walked beside her, not as a guard, not as a commander. As family. The toy was no longer called a toy. It was known as the seed, not because it created power, but because it restored life. Human teams worked around it, learned from it, protected it. No one tried to own it. That mattered more than anyone admitted. A final assembly was called, not a council, a remembrance. Across the galaxy, systems tuned in. Lyra stood at the center of a simple hall. No banners, no symbols of rule. Just light. She placed the seed on a pedestal. My people believed healing was a duty, she said. But duty should never be paid with blood. Images appeared. Her mother, her world. The day everything ended, silence filled the stars. The galaxy feared us, Lyra continued. So we vanished. She looked up. But we are remembered now. The engineer stepped forward. Humanity does not ask for control, he said. We ask for the chance to stand between fear and the innocent. No applause followed, only agreement, treaties were signed that day. Not written in dominance, but in limits. No child would ever be hunted again for what they might become. No power would be taken without consent. No healing would be forced into secrecy. The galaxy changed its laws, because one child had changed its heart. Later, far from cameras, Lyra sat with the engineer near a quiet window. Do you regret fixing my toy? She asked softly. He smiled. I think it fixed us, he replied. She laughed. A real laugh this time. Years passed. Lyra grew stronger. Not in power, but in confidence. Others like her were found survivors. Hidden. Afraid. They came out of the shadows. Humans welcomed them. Not as tools. As people. The galaxy gave humanity a new name. Not conquerors. Not warriors. Guardians. Not because humans were the strongest, but because when faced with a choice, they chose the smallest voice. On a quiet day, long after the broadcasts faded, Lyra returned to the old station, the place where everything began. Lights no longer flickered. The engineer had fixed that too. She placed the seed on the same work table. Do you remember? She asked. He nodded. I remember a broken toy, he said. And a brave girl. She smiled. My mother was right. She said softly. Kindness lasts longer than fear. Outside the window, stars burned steady and calm. The galaxy had not become perfect, but it had become better, because one human did not turn away. Because one child asked for help. Because kindness was answered, not ignored. And in the endless dark of space, that choice became legend.